Hey, what is going on, everyone? So in today's video, as we get closer and closer to the end of the patch cycle, we'll be going over my updated tier list for November and patch 4.5 based on my use of all the characters of this patch, excluding Doom, of course, but we can do an educated guess where he is probably going to land for now. This video normally comes towards the second to last week of the patch, and next weekend I'll be releasing the top 10 characters video for this patch cycle as well, based on the changes and additions to this list here. So of course, without further ado, let's get it started. Alright guys, so I do want to start off by saying that this table has been made courtesy of Tier Maker. Once again, I am really bad at doing infographics, so if anyone knows any better way for me to do this, then please let me know. But in the meantime, we'll be using this still, and this is what I use from month to month to create my tables. So we will be starting off with the characters that I have updated to different rankings, and then at the end we'll be doing some of the newer characters from this patch. So let's get things started off with Ant-Man and the Wasp, who are going to get their upgrades from basically the bottom of the pack. I think I had them at E, probably E or D or somewhere down there, and now I have upgraded them to the C ranking here alongside, as you can probably see, actually most of the newer characters, but I will get to that eventually. So Ant-Man and Wasp are here. Their rework is okay. They aren't amazing, and typically they need to be with their team, of course, to see results, which is absolutely the case with these two. So don't expect anything crazy by investing in them, in my personal opinion. And while they are in the C category, there are plenty of other Cs that are worth investing in over them. Now, the first real update other than those two is Hela. Now, we need to scroll up a little bit. So she was originally in the S tier category, but now I've demoted her a little bit to the A+ category. So for those of you who have followed my my tier list, you'll know that I do have an A, an A+, and an S. I do separate that only because I feel like I needed some other thing in between A and S. I didn't want to flood the S tiers with too many characters. So even though Hela is in the A+, she is she's a really amazing character for any early and mid-game player. I think that her sustained use in the more later game does taper down a bit, but I want people to know that this isn't me saying she is bad by any means at all. I just don't think that she has the sustained game use as the characters in the S tier category have. But definitely she is someone worth gearing, as all of the ones listed in the A or higher category should be. Hela will be very vital up until and even including some parts of the late game, but the only places I personally intend on using her from now is probably Dark Dimension 4 maybe, and where she still sits on my war defense for Asgardians, but still a highly recommended character. And of course you do need her to unlock Black Bolt as well, so she gets a nod for that too. And also Invisible Woman is also getting a slight demotion for now from A+ to A. This was a tough one, but I feel in the current state of the game, Shuri is a little bit more useful in terms of wider game modes than Invisible Woman, although it is often a trade-off between raids and arena, as Invisible Woman is superior in terms of arena usage, but Shuri is much better for raids and Dark Dimension. I think this might change in the coming months though, as Sue is probably going to be in tandem with Dr. Doom when more people get him and unlock him, so she'll be someone to watch in the near future, but for now, this is where I've decided to place her. Now, I've done the old switcheroo tactic here on Colossus and Strife. So Strife has been moved up to A. Here he is, Strife here, while I move Colossus down to B a little bit reluctantly. But now the reason why Colossus was moved down was because I think that with Dark Dimension 4 being out, he is going to lose a lot of value as Phoenix's protector for that game mode, being separated as the global lane will no longer allow for legendaries there. And this is the reason I have decided to promote Strife to the A category, and that's because I believe that he'll be the superior tank in Dark Dimension 4, and he also shares the same superior unique as Colossus, the titanium alloy, and I think it's better just to invest in one of them rather than both of them going forward for newcomers into Dark Dimension 3 and beyond. I think with the prominence of Emma Frost and Sinister, having Strife to complete that trifecta will be much more convenient, and how good Marauders are right now. I do want to say that Colossus is still an important character to gear though, despite this demotion, as he is super important to have once you get Phoenix. But aside from a Phoenix Colossus arena combo, he does lose a bit of value, I would say, now compared to like 6 months ago or even a few months ago, where he was still quite top dog. And so this might be a little bit controversial as well, but I did downgrade Taskmaster from A to B. This is because while he is a war defense focused team or character, you know, as of this video, he's not farmable. And I would find it difficult to convince people to gear him up right now, but this might change when he is farmable, as I believe he is a very good character with a great kit, but doesn't have a ton of uses outside of war, and maybe a global Dark Dimension 3 pick for skill if you're desperate for an extra character. But now with Ghost out, I don't know if people will be needing to do this as much anymore. Possibly another controversial promotion, but I am giving Blob an upgrade from C rank, where he was alongside Toad down here, to the B rank now. And despite, you know, being commonly in the Brotherhood 2.0 team, I do want to give him a little bit of an extra nod. That his passive deflex that he gives to adjacent allies, it works on everyone, not just Brotherhood or mutant characters. And he just won't get the taunt that Toad gives them when they're together. And I believe this special he pulls off buffs from Brotherhood or mutant protectors or Brotherhood protectors, but I think as a character he is still quite strong, and I wanted to separate them out compared to Toad, and I believe he is worth gearing more, so I would give him a possible C+ rating if I had that category, but I don't, and I have a special place in my heart for Blob after he kicked my ass over and over in that final Catalyst of Change challenge. So now on to the actual 4.5 characters. Let's start with Stature. So she was the first one. Where's Stature? Down here. So I did rank her as C. She was the first one to be released this patch, despite the supposed power of Pimtech and Dark Dimension. And I say this because I just really am not willing to orange gear Ant-Man and the Wasp. So Stature on the surface doesn't seem that bad, but as a new character, I think, you know, sometimes with new and unfarmable characters that their star levels are really going to make a big difference in their viability, and as a tank for a hard-hitting game mode like Dark Dimension, you'd probably need her higher to make a difference at 5+, maybe 6 stars to make her valid, particularly in Dark Dimension 3 and definitely in Dark Dimension 4. That being said, because of the larger range of synergy you need to make her work, she is going to make it in the C category for me at this time. This is a pretty common placement for characters that need their broader team to work, while characters who have more standalone value typically make in the B or above categories. But I do want to say that I hope Stature gets some future synergy with the Young Avengers, and maybe this will change my position for her here in the future. And second up is Ghost. Hands down, I think she is the MVP of the patch and makes it into the A category for me, but frankly this is probably the highest I would rate her, and that's because of her value for Dark Dimension is undeniable, but that's probably about it. I have tried to make Pimtech work in Blitz and War, but really I just haven't found them to be all that effective more widely, but this is about individual characters, and Ghost has a lot of value for the mode she was intended for. Out of all the characters this patch, I think she is the one who is definitely making the cut this time, and that's why I've decided to put her in the A tier. And the final member of the Pimtech, we do have Yellowjacket, who is last to be released, and as of this video, technically hasn't had his first Blitz yet, but I do have had a chance to play around with him with the offers. I didn't actually buy the offer, but I bought the cores in order to unlock him. I kind of placed him similarly to Stature here in the C rank, even though I do like his kit overall better than Stature's. The reason why he is here is because of his overall value beyond the Pimtech team, which is designed for Dark Dimension only at this point. He does have some future potential, with the whole villain tech thing, but at this time I think it's not as amazing as it looks. I'm not going to go into a huge detail about Yellowjacket, but I think this whole patch for me has been kind of meh, and other than Ghost, nobody has really impressed me too much. Now, of course, we're going to get to talking about Dr. Doom, who does get his placement currently of S tier, even though as of this video, nobody has him unlocked. His kit is incredibly powerful, and without a doubt, he will most likely be meta-defining a lot like Ultron was. But even though he is being listed here today, he won't be making my upcoming top 10 characters list because of his, as of now, largely unattainable rate, and it won't be until many, many months until more people start getting him. But I still wanted to place him here anyways, and he is getting an obligatory S, and we'll see, of course, in the months to come as people start unlocking him, though. And, you know, that's really the end of this patch's tier list additions and adjustments. It is a little bit shorter than it was last month. I didn't feel that there was a whole lot of movement in any of the other characters that I feel I wanted to move around. But based on my list here in my table, feel free to let me know in the comments below if you think I missed something, if you think that maybe someone deserved to be a little bit higher or lower than I currently have them at. I'm always willing to make adjustments, and maybe there's something I overlooked based on the usage of these characters to me. But this is just kind of like how I'm looking at my characters, and most of the characters that are in the B or higher category are characters I've heavily invested in either in the past or currently have. Whereas characters in the C are good for sort of team reasons, but they aren't standalone incredible characters. Probably the only other ones I would stand out with is Falcon. I think previously I used to have him in the B, but I think I did downgrade him to C, but he does actually have some pretty good standalone value. Other than that, though, a lot of these characters require their team to be any good, so I just wanted to point that out. And so that's the end of this patch list video, and as for always, for those who follow my channel and have seen my top 10 videos for the patch cycle, this tier list will be who I keep in mind for those. I normally consider characters who are in the A tier and above, and these will be the characters who will be considered for next weekend's top 10. So that's when that video will be coming out, and be sure to watch out for that as we're winding down towards the end of this patch. And yeah, things have been fairly busy still in my real life with Loki the puppy, not Loki the Asgardian. But thanks everyone for watching, of course, and until next time, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Waylon signing out.